Hello, Divine Feminines. I hope everyone's doing incredibly well. I have a message to share with you guys about paying attention to the synchronicities around you, and I feel like synchronicities are coming to you in the form of repetitive messages. So pay attention to certain thoughts where you need to take action on something, and how you'll know you need to move on this is it keeps coming up. You're like, oh my God, I'm thinking about this for the third time. Or you'll think about it and it's like you'll forget about it. And then a couple of days later, the thought will come up again, like, hey, you should do this. Or, hey, you've been meaning to, whatever it is. It could be about a particular relationship, a job. It could be about making a particular move around like your health, something that you have to follow the guidance on. Your guides are trying to say it to you repetitively so that way you take action on it. So I'm going to use the numerology deck and we're going to see what the universe needs you to know right now, or maybe through this reading, they're trying to remind you yet again to pay attention to this, okay? It could be explore more, research more, book that appointment, or, end that relationship with this person. It's toxic. Whatever the case is, we will dig in and find out what it is you need to know, Divine Feminines, okay? What does the universe want to say to you? Okay, so personal growth. Okay. I feel like many of you may be getting messages around like focusing in on yourself. Okay, because personal means, like, for me, like, you gotta take the time for you. There's something that is lacking. It's like you're giving to everybody else, and at the end of the day, you don't have time to work on that special project. Hell, you don't even have time to get yourself into a comfortable night routine, yet alone work on, something that you're really, really good at, it, or it could be like a talent or a skill that you really want to refine. These thoughts aren't going to go anywhere, guys. Personal growth is a thing that's going to start screaming at you more and more, because the awakening process, it's only going to get deeper and deeper. Life is going to continue to get more convenient until the universe starts telling you, hey, I'm going to corner you because I'm going to keep doing nothing but just giving you time on your hands until you understand that there's something that you're really longing for. It's going to make you feel really good. You're ignoring doing it because you feel like, I don't have the time for it. What's the sense in doing it? It's not going to make me any money. I need to be focusing on this thing because it is making me money. But the universe is saying, yeah, that may be so, but you're dying on the inside. Like when you look in the mirror, you're not happy with what you see. And I'm seeing the color gray as well. And what it's depicting to me is like Madhumavati's energy, right? The old hag is what they call that energy. And I feel like it's sending you a strong message that however fast-paced your life is, it's starting to show on you. So many of you aren't putting care into your feminine energy, so your vehicle is slowing down. Okay, the feminine energy, we need to feel good, we need to look good, we need to smell good. When we look in the mirror, we need to do a double take, like, damn, who is that? Oh shit, that is me. Oh my God, that is me in the mirror. I used to do that all the time and trick my friends every time we'd go to the mall and go shopping. I'd be like, oh my God, guys, who the heck is that? And in clothing stores, they'd always have mirrors everywhere. I'd be like, oh my God, MJ, who? They'd always think it was some like cute guy from school that I like spotted in the mall. And I'd be like, oh shit, guys, it's my reflection. Everybody relax. Chill out. It was just me. So some of you need to do that shit. When you look in the mirror, you need to go, God damn, who is that? Okay? 1 hour out of your day, Divine Feminines, I am challenging you to a night routine. I challenge you to a night routine. Instead of a duel, I challenge you to take on a night routine, because you guys need to replenish your energy, okay? This might just be that one thing that you do every night where, hey, it doesn't matter. Like, kids, you're going to go to bed half an hour early tonight. Why? Just because, like, I need time for me, okay? You tell whoever it is you need to tell, okay? Whether it be like your husband or, your kids, like whatever situation you're in right now, and whoever's taking up or eating away at your time in abundance, okay? So many of you need to pay attention how it is you may be overgiving, where it is you could foster independence a little bit more, where people can maybe do for themselves, so that way you can start taking back parts of the day to focus on you. And one thing that I'm really getting out of the personal growth card is starting to take care of yourself. Okay, many of you need to go to the salon, like take a day off and go and get your hair done, your nails done, put on clothes that fit you, that aren't, you know, your older kids' clothes, or maybe your husband's old big shirts and sweaters and, you know, all of that stuff. Like, it needs to stop today. Okay? And this, you know, no shade, no shame to anybody. I've been there myself in terms of falling into that like cozy, comfy kind of, you know, homebody in the routine of things. But it really does affect your ability to experience personal growth if you're not taking care or grooming yourself and feeling like you are in tip-top shape in order to take on the day. And that might just start with adding more vibrancy and color to your day, respecting the fact that you chose to travel to this earth and be in this incarnation as the divine feminine energy, as a woman. It means to accentuate your vehicle, your body, your jewelry as protection, right? The color lipstick you might wear is protection. The way that you might style your hair is protection. Okay, all of these things, they're tools for us to use in order to pull in creativity. Certain colors that you wear will give you specific ideas. You know, certain attire or the way that you might dress yourself, it's a direct expression of how you feel good in your own skin. So you know what I'm getting? Like, I'm getting for many of you, this has a lot to do with your inner child. That's why it's coming out as personal growth, because somewhere along the lines, like, you guys stopped doing this. It's like you were, I want to say divine feminines, like you were little girls, and then something happened along the way where you never really fully got to engage or enjoy what that experience was like, to just be able to relax and be and dream and do the things that you love doing so that you could become really good at it. Okay, I'm hearing that many of you may be getting a second chance to do this, but you need to carve out the time. Okay, so this might involve changing up the routine a little bit and seeing where, again, you can foster independence in the people around you so that you gain back more time to have a longer shower, to be able to do your hair, to be able to, you know, choose oils and perfumes to put onto your skin, and to be able to put moisturizer on your face, just to be able to tend to yourself. Okay, I feel like that is a huge part of your personal growth mission right now. Okay, what else does the universe want you to know about this personal growth? Why is it so important for this collective to have this eye opener about their outside appearance? Okay, so we have moderation, and then we have completion. You know, it's interesting with moderation, because I feel like where did that other card go? Personal growth. Okay, I feel like in the moderation has to do with many of you trying to stay modest or trying to moderate yourself. I feel like that's over. Like, the completion is saying that portion of your life is over. Like, you don't have to be the version of yourself that holds back. You know, maybe it was, you know, an ex-boyfriend. It could have been a bunch of peers or your friends growing up. It maybe could have even been a parent, you know. Where do you think you're going looking like that? You know? Well, why would you wear that shirt? Why would you wear that dress? Well, don't you think that looks kind of... And somewhere along the lines like that, it really affected your ability to be and feel good in your own skin. Like, to be really daring when it comes to expressing yourself through your clothing or fashion. Because moderation is telling me with that gray color I channeled earlier that some of you really just try to blend in. You try to go unnoticed. But all of that affects your energy, right? Because it puts you in a state of fear, and I don't feel comfortable in my own surroundings. When many of you, I feel like what's about to emerge is like feeling really safe again in the world, and to know that it's okay to be looked at. It's okay to be looked at, because not everybody's going to look at you and wonder why it is you're doing what you're doing. And many of you need to hear that you're healed and you're grown now, right? Motherfucker look at you and be like, what the hell are you wearing? Be like, what the fuck are you wearing? Looking like a damn old muffin top, you know what I mean? Maybe that little girl within you, you know, it was like that fight or flight, and you just, you know, kind of froze there in that moment, and it really affected you, and it kind of took something from you. But today I am feeling like many of you are getting that back. you know, like looking at somebody and be like, what you looking at? You looking at me? What you looking at? you know, that part of you wants to emerge. It's time. And maybe that starts with you looking at your own self in the mirror and dolling yourself up. And when you do doll yourself up, listen to that inner voice that says, whoa, 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 don't know. You can't wear that color lipstick. That's too bright. Oh, no, that's too loud. Oh my God, you like it. It looks so pretty, but wait a second, you know, I think that that's going to like make you stand out. Like that is that voice low key that's mimicking the voice of whoever it is took your beautiful gift of your feminine expression away. Okay, so they don't get to exist anymore. So that's where the completion card is coming in. Whoever that is or whoever they are, they don't get to exist anymore. Okay, part of you honoring your experience here, and in order for you to be shown more of what it is you should be doing and feel more purpose within, I feel like this reading is saying, like, you know, you got to experience healing first. You know, you can't do your purpose without going out there and being seen in the world. And you can't go out and be seen in the world when as soon as you step out, you do everything to hide. You know, many of you will, you know, kind of, you know, dumb yourselves down a little bit in the wardrobe department, makeup department, go out, get whatever it is you need to get done. And then there is this feeling of, well, why don't I feel as creative? Or why don't I feel like I can get, you know, pushing through with my ideas? It's because look at all of the energy around you. You know, you're missing an element of like human connection, and some of you need to spark up conversations and be seen and approached. And I feel like a lot of you may be hiding from that. Okay, it's like you try to moderate yourself or you moderate your experiences because it's like your mind is still operating in that place of, if you do show yourself, someone's going to have a problem with it or wonder why it is you're so bold enough to express yourself that way. You know, maybe your inner child needs to hear that low key, those family members were jealous. Low key, that friend didn't want you wearing that shirt because you looked, you know, really, really beautiful. And she was afraid that her boyfriend was going to yet compliment you for, you know, the 6th time in a row since you guys have all been out together. You know what I mean? So it's like sometimes your inner child may not see that or understand those things, but you know, maybe it's helping to heal many of you now, where when you look back, you realize that like a lot of the people who might have tried to like bring you down or destroy you, or just, again, I keep hearing like take away your femininity. Like a lot of you stopped expressing yourself in this very outwardly bold, sexy way because once upon a time somebody saw you do it really fiercely, felt very threatened by it, and because you might have valued this person or cared for this person and didn't know why they would say that or where it was coming from, it affected you to a great degree, you know. And maybe your soul needs to hear now that the truth, like that person, when they saw you looking like that or expressing yourself like that, you know, it was so intimidating to them that the first thing they thought of was, I need to shut that glow down. Well, it's time for the glow to come back alive, okay? Many of you need to put your foot down, okay? And I feel like reach into time and space, grab a couple of hours for yourself every single day, and tend to your vehicle, your appearance. Make sure that you're feeling well polished and well put together. You really deserve it. And whether that 2 hours starts with, okay, honestly, I can't even do this just yet to intuitive because I don't even have clothes to wear. Okay, well then you better take those 2 hours and get yourself to the store and buy yourself some clothes that are colorful and fit, and they feel really beautiful and they feel really feminine and sexy. And if you've been putting this off for forever, even though the universe has been screaming at you to do it, you better get to it, because there's a lot more that's waiting to come to you in the form of those repetitive thoughts. But you got to tune up the vehicle, right? Because that has a lot to do with like attracting human connection, attracting opportunities. If you go out there in the world like you don't want to be seen, then how do you expect to get going on a lot of your dreams and goals and talents? Then you're going to dumb all of those other areas down as well because of just simply not wanting to be seen, right? Because then when you get home, you're like, oh, why can't I think of anything? Or why can't I get going on a lot of my goals? It's because you're not taking care of yourself. And the universe is trying to show you that, hey, you know, you really want the wheels to get going. You know, you start with the roots. You start at home. Okay. You can't, work in a crazy cluttered space, right? Sometimes you got to clean the space first in order for things to flow, and it's like you wouldn't go into a cluttered office and have papers every. It's like, no, you would go in and have stuff organized, right? It's like our bodies are the same way. Like, we can't go out and charge and take over the world looking like a potato, right? A bag of potatoes. Okay. I just pictured a potato sack, like, oh, we cannot go out there like a bag of potatoes, guys. Okay. And that's why maintenance is so hard, right? It takes effort. That's why you got to get up early and make sure you have that morning shower and blow dry the hair and, put on the makeup, or maybe not put on the makeup, but at least you blow dried the hair, and at least you moisturize them lips. At least the hair is styled. At least the clothes fit. At least you look awake. At least you put time and effort into you before walking out that door. That is commanding the universe, my friend. All right. So I don't know who this was for, but I really do hope this message finds you well. I love you guys. Take it easy. And I'll catch you in the next reading, okay? You guys take care. Bye.